From SRS Cinema comes the 2015 Japanese giant monster kaiju superhero spoof Outer Man. This was really good. This is a Blu-ray. It runs 82 minutes, directed by Minoru Kawasaki with Shun, Shioya, Yasuhisa, and Junki, Tozuka, and I apologize for all of that mangling and mispronunciation and probably inaccurate names. We have a film that is in Japanese with English subtitles. This is, it's basically a spoof of Ultraman, a very, very loving spoof of Ultraman by way of like Galaxy Quest. So the basic story is that Outer Man is this long-running series on Japanese TV. Superhero who can blow himself up, not in terms of explosion or photographic techniques, but can make himself taller to fight giant monsters who come and threaten Japan. This has been an on-running series. Much like Ultraman, there are various incarnations where it's like Outer Man this, Outer Man that, and from different eras. And the film opens with the various actors from that show signing autographs for fans. One of them runs an Outer Man themed shop, and there's a little kid at the beginning who's a big fan of not Outer Man, but of one of the main villains of Outer Man. And something happens where all of a sudden there is a threat to the world. Excuse me. My guts get in a twist when I think about intergalactic threats. There is a threat to the world or Japan. An actual giant Outer Man appears and says he, look, I'm real, I'm going to take care of things. And then government thinks otherwise and finds out maybe Outer Man actually isn't the good guy here. And what happens is they form a task force, like they often do in these films, where the people who portrayed Outer Man on TV are brought in to become actual Outer Man people with specific items that let them turn into giant superheroes. And even more amusingly, the government brings in super fans of Outer Man, the TV series, to comb through the entire history of the show in every episode to figure out if there are clues in that show as to how to defeat the actual giant monsters from outer space. It's super fun. It's fairly low budget, but the kaiju and Outer Man stuff works really well, and it is a very loving tribute. I know a little about all this stuff. I know a little about Ultraman and about the kaiju films, but listening to the extras on this, you find out, yeah, the person who made this film loves this stuff, has loved it for decades, and really is putting in a ton of little references to that stuff. It's not super goofy. It's comedic a lot of the time. It's also very heartfelt. It's very heartfelt as far as the reality of what's going on in the film, as far as the characters' relationship with each other and this thing that they love. And it is a super loving nod to the relationship that exists between a fan base and that thing that it loves, a fan base and the people who portray these characters that they love. It's really well done. Like I'd never heard about this. It's again, this is like a decade old, and I don't know that it's ever had a US release, but now it does, courtesy of SRS Cinema on Blu-ray. So you don't really get any kaiju action until about an hour into it, but when you do, it's very good. It's mostly played straight, but it is funny. It looks great, and I really enjoyed it. So the extras on this, you get a commentary by Elijah Thomas with special guest Minoru Kawasaki, featuring translations by Yao Lu, and the translations mean Elijah Thomas is a big fan of this stuff and speaks in English. And then you hear Kawasaki, who is the director of the film, talking about it in Japanese, and then there is somebody who translates. So you don't have to read subtitles during this. Let's just put it that way. You do during the film itself, but not during the commentary, which I appreciate, because I tend to want to do something else while I listen to a commentary and not look at the film I just watched again. There was a 26-minute making of that was made at the time, obviously shot on video, a lot of behind the scenes on set stuff. That's really interesting and fun. There's a 1-minute photo gallery that's set to the score. There is Outer Man Historia, which is a page through bonus feature that basically gives you the total bogus history of Outer Man and all the different series and the actors and things like that. And then there are trailers for this release that total a minute. So I really enjoyed this. This is one I'm recommending to my fans of the actual Ultraman and Surabaya productions and Toho stuff and stuff like that. It's really cool. It invariably is probably going to fall through the cracks because it's a smallish boutique Blu-ray company, but it's absolutely worth seeking out if you're a fan of any of that stuff I mentioned earlier. So it is, looking to make sure the title is correct, Outer Man.